when they said, Camille, Colucci, Miss Colucci, your husband is, and again, I can't even remember the words they used exactly. All I can remember is the feeling that came over me. Like I completely changed at that exact second where, holy shit, I'm not a little boy anymore. I can't even talk to my friends anymore. I don't have one friend in the world for some reason.
Take a ride in the life of Jack Colucci, who first experienced death at the age of 5 years old when his father was murdered by Gambino family consigliere, Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano. It wasn't until 25 years later when Sammy admitted in open court that he learned who actually killed his father. For the next 30 years, Jack has life-changing moments that can only be told through his own words. And you too will see you truly don't know Jack.
My name is Jack Colucci. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, actually Bensonhurst. This is my life story. And I'm going to give you a couple of, an idea of who I am. So I had stories on the street stories and home stories. My home story was your father was up in Syracuse, had a fight with a guy who punched him with one punch and made his eye bleed and blah, blah, blah. And how the fuck would have been that guy? This is how bizarre. I think it was so bizarre I even try to fucking not even think about it anymore. That's how bizarre my mother's story to me was, how your father was killed. And she stuck with that one for a long time, I guess, until Sammy ratted. Boy, oh boy, it took me a long time to look at my mother after that because you fucking lived with Tommy for 10 years. It was 10 years of a nightmare between the rape and drugs and murder and guns and the demolition of life. I mean, he didn't stay with that story where that was one story, and then there's another story from my other side of my family. My father was like the leader of everybody. Whatever the fuck he said, everybody did. We used to live next door to my grandmother on 76th Street. And he's now living upstairs in my grandmother's house, where they owned the whole house, but there was an apartment upstairs. And he's up there, and we're next door. And my mother goes out on a date that night. Now it's actually a horrific story that I have to relive in my head that I'm going to tell you. This is a story that really is, I guess, it's fact what I'm going to tell you, but it's only been told to me from my mother. That he had broken his hand, my father, and had a cast on his hand, punched something. And they broken up, and he asked her that night, can I borrow the car? Take the car that night. I'm going to go out. And he was going to go out with Tommy Spiro and Sammy. And my mother says, no, you can't take the car. and I'm going out with somebody, a guy, Roy. And if you don't believe me, look out the window at 8 o'clock and I'm going out. Well, sure enough, she says she gets in the car and he waves, and she gets in the car, and that's the last time she ever sees him, because now he's got to get in Tommy Spiro's car. And they went to Jan's, and he goes, and Sammy says the rest of the story that I had to hear 25 years later. I don't know. What I'm telling you now at this moment is a series of events that I got to live in my head between my mother, Tommy, and Sammy, of that last moment of my father. So supposedly Sammy says they were out drinking, and then at like 3 a.m. they went to this place, Jan's, that actually I ate there, not knowing that that was the last place that my father ate, because Sammy kept this dark secret and only him and my mother and Tommy knew. But obviously maybe a couple other people, because I did find a fucking kill list, and Sammy did have a fucking mouth and liked to brag about things, and who the fuck knows, you know? But the more you think about, you know, what happened and what have ever occurred in my life, really, I see a hell of a lot more of this life. Made me what I am, to be honest. But that moment now, they get in the car, they're gonna go to Jan's. From Jan's, they says they're driving home, and the Beatles are on, and I'd love to know, I don't even love to know, who fucking cares? The Beatles are on, and Sammy shoots him in the back of the head. I don't know who does it until 25 years later. And it turns out to be the man who grows me up. He is as evil and could be the fucking devil himself, because I don't know of a more smarter person. I don't know of a more devious person, but I know completely about him is him. So now, Sammy says they dump him in Brownsville in the street. This is how my father ends up. But these two imbeciles do their filthy deed, and I lived through this, and now I live with them, okay? Because now what happens next is there's a knock on the door the next morning. I run to the door. It's February, it's freezing, but it's sunny as fuck out. And in that hallway, we had a big skylight. And the fucking door opened up, and it was like, whoa. And these guys and these, you know, all I can remember is two dark images. I don't know if they were uniform, detective, but when they said, Camille, Colucci, Miss Colucci, your husband is, and again, I can't even remember the words they used exactly. All I can remember is the feeling that came over me. Like, I completely changed at that exact second where, holy shit, I'm not a little boy anymore. I can't even talk to my friends anymore. I don't have one friend in the world for some reason. And living with that and loving everybody and understanding everybody is such a fucking thing to carry. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, you know, the two women that basically grew me up, really my grandmother who passed away, my father's mother, was the woman who grew me up. And all I can remember was up until I was 16 years old, going up to Pennsylvania with her every summer, actually leaving my friends to be with my grandmother and her friends that I knew back then, old women, old an older woman knows more about life than anybody else. And helping people is a great thing. I was different than everybody else and everywhere I ever been. Listen to me, I wouldn't trade my life for nobody. That's number one. I never put a medal on my chest, nor would I ever want to be anybody in life because I love my life. People have to live with different things, and I know why people do what they do.